Hello guys, welcome back to the Night of 1,000 Rants. I'm doing tons of videos tonight, trying to clean out my question drawer. There's so many, but before I get to that, let me remind you that there is a new site on Reddit called, it's www.reddit.com/r/Morin I would appreciate it if you started posting questions there instead of sending them to me. Not just because, well, honestly, the first time I mentioned my email, like 3 days ago, I mentioned, hey, don't send them to YouTube, send them to gimmeabreakman at gmail.com. Literally the first day, before that I was getting 5 to 10 a day. As soon as I mentioned it, the questions just jumped. I got 20, how many from it? 23, 26, you know? And the thing is, it really bothers me if I can't answer your questions. I feel like a jerk. Like, oh, I'm the too big shot. I don't know. It weighs heavily on me. Even the stupid questions. Like, oh, sometimes the stupid questions weigh heaviest on me. I'll tell you. I'll explain when I get to one. Okay. Let's get to the first question. Okay. The first question comes from Josias, who says, I'm an 18-year-old English kid going to university in September to study civil engineering. At the moment, I'm planning to teach English in Japan for a few years straight afterwards. I guess my question is if you've ever heard of someone having a hard time getting a job after a few years out of their main career. No. If you are young and you are a native speaker and you are from England or America or Canada or New Zealand or Australia, you probably won't have that much trouble, especially if you're from England. The people that they want are the British and the Americans. So good job. Done with that question. Okay. Next one comes from Kami. I don't know if that's his real name. He says, hello, Victor. I enjoy your channel. I saw that throughout your years you answered plenty of questions about teaching English in Japan. I'm aware it's hard to get a teaching job for non-native speakers. I get this question a lot. But how about non-native speakers with BA and master's degree from USA? How about non-native speakers with doctorate degree from USA? I would greatly appreciate your response. I think, when he says, P.S. you are not a moron, I take that as an insult. I am a moron, a proud moron. Honestly, I would think that if you have a doctorate or a master's from an American university, your chances are much better. However, it depends on what you're looking for. You might get a job at a university, but you might have more trouble at the Eikaiwa level, where at the Eikaiwa level, what they really want are just people who can, give an entertaining and educational lesson. A lot of young people. So. And if you're getting a PhD, you're probably going to be a bit older than the typical young person, but you can still be pretty young. I get that question a lot about age. Like, what if I come over when I'm 50 and 60? It's harder when you get older, but you can still do it. Okay. Next question comes from Lewis, who says, "Hey Victor, a bit of a serious topic, but I think it would be very interesting if you would discuss this, because it's better if the knowledge comes from you, an actual teacher in Japan, rather than an article." Okay. The question is, I just want to know how people are treated in general if, let's say, someone has ADD or another disability. Do they go to a special school or do they go to mainstream? Do they get bullied? If you have ADD, if you are a strange kid anywhere in the world, you're probably going to get bullied. Because human beings are jerks, especially kids. Kids are jerks. Kids are little assholes to each other. Unfortunately, until they grow up and they realize that, that's not nice. So it happens everywhere. And he says, same question. Let's assume that I have a learning disability like dyslexia. I couldn't. That was not a joke. Dyslexia. What about dyslexia? I don't think that Japanese have much trouble with dyslexia because of the way the language works here. I suppose some people might, but I've never really heard of it. I'm sure it must exist in some form, but they don't use the alphabet, and that's usually how you find out if someone has dyslexia. And most everybody can read, so you don't really hear that problem. But maybe the few people that they think are stupid, that's really what they have. I remember hearing, I think it was Tom Cruise, who apparently had dyslexia, and he said people thought I was stupid or something. Anyway, do I have any experience working with a dyslexic child or adult? No, I know that in general it's considered embarrassing to have a child with Down syndrome in your family from whatever country you're from, if you are an uneducated person. But, I've known people with people in their family. I've known people who've had Down syndrome siblings, and they're cool, and I'm cool with it too. I mean, it's not like I understand. It's there's nothing to understand. You don't really have to explain it. But some people, there's nothing to be ashamed of, and some people figure that out, and some people don't. The same in Japan. I've seen people talk about it like it's nothing, but in general, you don't hear much about it. I don't mean this to be funny, but I've seen groups of like people with Down syndrome, like on train stations going somewhere, or on buses, or walking down the street, and there's like whole groups of them, like this whole like gaggle of geese type of group, And I've always thought that's, I don't know why, just kind of funny, not in a ridiculous way, but just kind of, but well, mostly because they're just noisy and talkative. Like, I guess just like kids would be, but no one. It's not like people making fun or anything. But I'm sure some people think that way. I mean, I just haven't read everyone's mind, so I can't really tell you. Anyway, let's go to the next question. I got to go to the next page now because we're out of. Yes. Oh, that's terrible. How do I do this? Okay. So yeah, like I told you, I was getting 14 or 26 messages. So I've got to go back. Just a second. Oh, this is, how do I do this? Okay, here we go. Okay, next question comes from game development. Michael says, I'm 22 years old and I'm from Sweden, and I will soon apply for a game development school in Sweden as a level designer, and I'm very interested in Japanese culture. I'm pretty recently started to learn Japanese, but it's going pretty well. Lucky for me, I'm a fast learner. The question on my mind, is it possible or probable you could be getting a job in Japan that has to do with game development? I've done a video on this in the past. You have to search it. If you can't find it, look for it. Short answer, unless your Japanese is really good, you can't do anything but teach English or work in a factory, unless your Japanese is really, really good. So that's the bottom line. You're not going to get a visa for it either. My suggestion would be get really good in your field and then try to get a job in a Japanese company while you're overseas. Have them bring you over, or write to companies and see if you try to get an introduction through a school. It's not easy to come over and get a job in a company that has nothing to do, even if it's in your field, unless you have the language skills. It's just really hard to do. And Japan has like a 5% unemployment now, which for them is like insane. Like, oh my God, it's terrible, 5% unemployment. It's so embarrassing. But it's not that bad. That was the February 14th question. Here's another one. Anthony, after watching your recent question answers with earthquakes right in the beginning, I was wondering, how often do you feel earthquakes? Are they terrifying because there's an upcoming big one coming? And I've lived in Michigan for 18 years, and I can't say I've ever felt one. Keep up the great videos. Okay. Not that often. There are times when you feel them a lot. Like last 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you felt them quite a bit after the big one. After the big one in, the one that caused the Fukushima plant disaster. Anyway, not really that often. Felt one 2 days ago, but no. But once in a while you feel them. It's not really a big deal. And yes, apparently there's going to be a really big one in this area very soon. And I just hope I'm out of the country when that happens. And I hope nobody dies. But anyway, next question. Advertisement, let's see. Okay, I already answered that one the other day. Let's see. Okay, yo, Victor, I'm Lucas, and I'm really interested in your videos. I'm 15 years old, sophomore, who takes the best classes he can in school, although I'm very lazy. I want to go to Japan for my whole life, and recently I realized that I want to go more, and I want to go there and stay. My grandparents were missionaries in Japan, you see, and my mom and her sister, while they were there, they have many memories of Japan. Not only that, but I myself experienced... I find myself find everything about Japan, so I can't read. Besides the stupid nuclear plant, amazing and worth experiencing. I'm serious about moving there, and I'm currently studying hiragana and katakana. Kanji will be last, of course. I'm not sure about the whole citizenship process. My grandparents said it's a lot to do, but visa will be fine for now. I suppose in any case, I know that one should acquire a degree before teaching English in Japan. I'm not sure what field of English I'll be in, like high school or private lessons, so college is an obvious choice. Just filling you in about me. Hopefully we can become friends. Okay, I'll give you good advice. Don't think about becoming a citizen yet. Please come over here first. Get a degree in whatever. Get a degree in something you're interested in. Don't major in Japanese. Get a degree in something useful that you can hopefully get a job in other fields, something that you're really interested in, but something also useful and practical. Don't major in Japanese. Don't think about becoming a citizen in Japan until you actually come here and taste the life here. You may not like it. A lot of people don't. I'm the kind of person that can live anywhere. So I've done this kind of video before. Look for the video entitled, well, I'll link it this video. Okay, I'll have to link two videos in here. The one about the gamers and about young kids who want to come to Japan. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. What time is it? 2:12. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. That's the last video for tonight. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Oh, and stay thirsty.